Alrighty, so three things that I want to accomplish today. Thing number one is we have some notes to go over. Thing number two is I want to check your last night's homework, your boot camp number 2 homework, stamp that. And third thing is I've got a stack of stuff to hand back to you, including tests and all that fun stuff. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. With that being said, retrieval on page 4 in your notes. There are 2 graphs. Also, if you could make 2 tables to go along with that. And then one more down here at the bottom of a, sure, where's my cursor? There it is. Of a graph it on a number line. Okay? Go for it. What's up? Y-intercept of positive 8. So that's up 8 on the y-axis from the origin. A slope of negative 2, so that would be down 2 and right 1. Down 2 and right 1. Down 2 and right 1. Or up 2 and left 1. A couple of different ways that you could do the table. You could either take points off of your graph, like 4, 0. That's on the graph. That's right here. You could 0, 8. That's right here. Okay. And then you can just, or you could take, and you could put, like, if I wanted to put 2, set my x value at 2, plug 2 in, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus 8 is 4, so that would be the point right here, and so on and so forth. Okay? You could put any numbers in there. 10. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20, plus 8 is negative 12. That would be the point right there. Okay. Over here on this one, first we've got to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and that's going to give me y equals negative x plus 7. That gives me a y-intercept of positive 7, which would also give me the point 0, 7. Then that also has a slope of negative 1. So that is down 1 and right 1, which would be the point 1, 6. Down 1 and right 1 would be the point 2, 5. Down 1 and right 1 would be the point 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And there's that one. Questions about either one of those two? First thing I would do here in number 3 is I would distribute that 2 into that set of parentheses, giving me 2x minus 6 Then I would combine my like terms. On the left side, we would have 2x minus 1. We could subtract 2x from both sides. we can add 10 to both sides, and I get 9 is less than or equal to x, which would be a closed dot at 9. And we want 9 to be the biggest. We want numbers smaller than that, so it will be going to the left. Questions about that one? Okay, let's get into it. So, Carlos and Clarita, we've met them before. Carlos and Clarita are trying to find a way to make money during summer vacation. They decide to open a pet boarding facility. Not only do they have a large unused storage shed on their property where they can house the animals, but they also have a spacious fenced backyard where the pets can play. Carlos and Clarita have decided to hire a company to clean the windows of the storage shed where they plan to board the pets. After collecting the following information, they have come to you to help decide which window cleaning company they should hire. Okay? So their two options are Sunshine Express Window Cleaners. They charge $50 to come out and then $10 per window. Okay? Painless Window Cleaners charges $25 to come out, but then they charge $15 per window. Okay? So the question number 1 says, which company would you recommend and why? Prepare an argument to convince them that your recommendation is reasonable. It's always more convincing you can support your claim in multiple ways. Okay? All right, so let's come up with an equation for Sunshine Express windows. Let's go with X is the number of windows and Y then would be the cost for them to come out. Okay? So the cost here would be Y equals how much per window? 10x, so that's 10x, and plus 50, because it costs them $50 no matter what to come out, okay? And then $10 per window. So the equation there for that one is Y equals 10x plus 50. What would the equation be for painless windows? So those are both what kind, or if I were to graph them, let's say, what kind of shapes, geometric shapes, mathematical shapes would both of those be? They'd both be lines, right? Okay? All right? So if I were to graph them on a graph, we could find their intersection point, right? If they had one. Do they have an intersection point? Why?
It's not the same rise and run.
So it's not the same slope, right? They have different slopes, so they are definitely going to intersect. Okay? So we could find that intersection point. What would that intersection point be? Let's think about this abstractly. If I were to graph those two lines, so let's just say I graph those two lines. I got one of them that's going like this, and I got one of them that's going like this. What would that intersection point be? Well, you'd be positive, yeah, but I just threw it out there. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly where it is, because we haven't found it yet. Wait, nudge, we're going to find it. Exactly. Okay, that intersection point is going to be where the cost is the same for the same amount of windows. Okay? Right? So let's find that spot. We could graph it, yes, but we don't really have any graph paper. That's fine. Let's do it algebraically. So we could substitute in this one in place of y right there. And so we could get here 10x plus 50 is equal to 15x plus 25. I want to solve that for x. Okay. So I get x equals 5. Agree? Okay. So what does that mean? If they only have 5 windows in their shed, it's going to be the same price, and it doesn't matter which one that they should go with, right? What is the cost for either Painless or Sunshine to come out and clean 5 windows? How much? $100? Okay. All right, so I'm going to make actually a triple chart here. So the number of windows, if we have 5 windows, then we had Sunshine. So I'm going to plug 5 in here. 5 times 10 is 50, plus 50 is 100. And then we'd have Painless. Five times 15 is 75, plus 25 is 100. Okay. All right. What if there's only 4 windows in the shed?
90.
Both of them are 90? Because it'd be 4 times 10, right, is 40. Plus 50 would be 90. Okay. What's Painless? 85. 4 times 15 is 60. Plus 25 is 85. Okay. What if there's 6 windows in the shed? Do we agree with 110 for Sunshine Express? 6 times 10 is 60, plus 50 is, yep, okay. How much? 115? Do we agree with that? Yeah? Okay. Make me an argument based off of that now as to which one we should go with. Go on.
If they have 5 or less windows, they should go with Painless. If they have
5 or less?
5 or
than 5 windows,
then they should go with painless.
then they should go with painless because it's
Cheaper.
cheaper. If they have 5 windows, doesn't matter, right? And if they have 5 or more windows, or more than 5 windows, yeah, sorry, 5, not 5 or more. If they have more than 5, they should go with sunshine, right? Is that the argument that we're making?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we said less than 5, we're going with painless. Agree with me on that? Okay, love it. So what do we do there? We developed an equation for the scenarios for each company, right? We solved, knowing how we know how to solve, to find where the 2 companies were the same. And then we went one bigger and one smaller, and we figured out which company was cheaper on each side, correct? Okay, all right? Everybody understand that? Love it. So now what I want you to do is, now once the windows are clean, now they want to paint the window frames. Okay? Alright? So I want you, I'm going to scroll back up so you see all of the work that we just did on that one so you can follow along. It's much the same. It's just now you've got to develop a paint by numbers equation, a paint it right equation, and then you have to recommend which one for which scenarios. Okay? Alright? Go for it. So here is all of that work.
Mr. Huntsman.
All right, so painted by numbers. Paint by numbers charges $100 for sanding the frames and masking windows with tape, and $16 per hour. So that would be y equals 16x plus 100 for that one. Paint It Right charges $24 per hour plus a 38 disposable or disposable thing. So that's a 24x plus 38. Yes? Okay. Where x is now the number of hours and y is the cost. Yes? Okay. So we can set them equal to one another. Again, I can take this one and I can put it right there. That gives me 16x plus 100 is going to equal 24x plus 38. Subtract 16x. That gives me 100 equals 8x plus 38. Subtract 38. Gives me 62 equals 8x. Divide by 8. Gives me, what is that? 7.75? Right? So if they work for 7 3/4 hours, it's the same. Agreed? Okay? Okay, so at 7.75, it's the same. So if we plug in 7.75, what do we get? 224? Because that would be 124, 200, yep, 224 for that first one. Okay? Which means it's going to be 224 for the other one. Okay, let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's go with 5 windows, or 5 hours, excuse me. 5 times 16 is 80, plus 100 is 180. 5 times 24 is 120, plus 38 is 158. Let's go with 10 then. 160 plus 260, 240 plus, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Mine didn't make sense either, because when I did 9 for paint by number, I got 244, then paint it right, I got 254, then for 6, I got 196 and 182.
Did we do some math wrong here? 5 times 16 is 80, plus 100 is 180, yep. 5 times 24 is 120, plus 38 is 150, yep. Okay. So paint it right's got to be going up by more. So this should be more than, if I put 10, 240. Yeah, no, that's right. No, I got it. Yeah, no, we're good. I was just in my own brain. 240, 278. Yeah. One of them should, the same one shouldn't have been cheaper on both. Is that what you got? Okay. That's why we label everything. Right? Okay. So I would say if we have the argument that we would make then would be if it's 7.75 hours worth of a job, doesn't matter. Right? If it's going to take longer than 7.75 hours, then you should go with, what was that, paint by numbers? Yeah, paint by numbers. If it's going to go shorter, then you go with paint it right. Okay? Get it? Yeah? Okay, you want to do another one?
No.
That's fine. I think we're good. Honestly, I think we're good with it. You know what I mean? Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So this one would have just been, the only thing that would have been different on this one would have been, instead of using X's and Y's, they used P's and R's. But which one is technically like the X? P. Why P?
Because it's first
First in the alphabet. Okay? So P would be the X, R would be the Y. Okay? Alright? So just so you know, that would be what it would be. Okay? In this case, though, P stands for paintbrushes and R stands for rolls of masking tape. Okay? Alright? Good there, good there, good there, all good through. Okay, so a couple of takeaways before we get into homework. Okay? if we're using a graph, where do we find the solution to a system of equations on a graph? Intersection point. Yep, exactly. In a table, it would be where the points are the same, right? Yeah. Okay, yep. Okay. And using algebra, we have to use substitution. Okay. Good times. Your homework this eve is 5.1. It's on pages 6 through 9, and it is numbers 1 through 8. Yep. Next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to hand stuff back first, because I want to get that stuff back first, and then I will come around and stamp. Yep.